It's Ashley with CourtReserve. Welcome. We are so happy to have you today. We are going to talk all about the power of add-ons in your CourtReserve platform. So know that this webinar is going to be every 2 weeks. It's something that we know a lot of our new customers and our existing customers want to know about. And so know that if you have a teammate or someone who wants to watch it live, we will be doing this on Mondays every 2 weeks. This will be recorded, and we, of course, will put it on the CourtReserve YouTube channel probably within the next day or so you can locate it there as well. If you have questions, of course, this is in the webinar format, but we do want to answer your questions. Please put them in the Q&A channel, and we will get to them at the end of the presentation. And know that today is all about letting you know the power of CourtReserve, how to elevate your CourtReserve platform. So specific instructions on how to set up each of the things we talk about today. You will need to locate those in the knowledge base, and I'll make sure and point that out. Or, you can always reach out to our amazing customer support team on live chat as well. So know that in CourtReserve, in order to turn on add-ons, you do need to be an admin. Now, your sub-admins can use certain parts and set certain parts up and direct certain parts of these add-ons, and we'll look at those permissions soon. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll talk through some of our CourtReserve add-ons today. Before we do that, I almost forgot, I do want to mention that our next CourtReserve User Conference Catalyst is coming up February 19th. It's going to be down in Florida, nice and warm, next to the beach. It's near Daytona Beach. Pictona at Holly Hill is one of our amazing partners, and they have offered up their space to allow 50 of our closest CourtReserve friends to come and spend 2 full days of training, impacting your CourtReserve platform, learning tips and tricks, all the little secret boxes, and network. Probably the networking is as powerful as some of the training, and that's the feedback that we got from our first user conference. So if you want more information, go out to live chat. They can send you the registration link. The tickets are going quickly, so we only have 50 slots, so I don't know how many's left, but you don't want to miss. And then if you are pickleball anything, our next Pickleball Club Mastermind is coming up in just 2 weeks, the week after Thanksgiving. They are still taking registrations for that as well. Go out to live chat, and they can send you more information on that as well. Okay, let's talk about add-ons and pricing. So if you are a current CourtReserve customer, then you know that we help you run your business with what you want to do. You are in control. We don't have any long-term contracts. You pay as you grow. And that's the beauty of how we run CourtReserve. We want you to decide if add-ons, if additional things that we build are important enough for your business. Now, know that in the last year, about half of our add-ons we actually don't charge for anymore. So we are constantly looking and making sure that we are putting value-added things into CourtReserve, and then you can choose those other things that you want to add to your platform. So let's start off with one of my favorite add-ons, text messaging and push notifications. Now, aren't they the same thing, right? Isn't that, you're like scratching your head sometimes if you don't already use them? Well, text alerts are directly to the mobile device, to your player, to your admin, etc. And text alerts and push notifications are not the same. So if we actually bounce forward to our next slide, push notifications are from the app. Okay, so let me give you an example. So this summer, Tim and I had the journey out west. We went and saw a lot of our customers out in the Midwest, and we went out to a club in Colorado. So I signed up as a member of their club so that I could come and make a reservation at their club. And sure enough, once I got back home to Florida, I don't even have my CourtReserve, like they're not my main organization, but because they are a facility within my CourtReserve app, they are still sending me push notifications, which means I'm alerted to all the things that that facility wants me to know. The difference in a text alert and push notification is a text alert is going to that player's or that administrator's phone number. So if you use text alerts, then in CourtReserve, whether you use text or push, it's $15 a month. You can actually go in and turn both of those on. But be aware that every single text that you send out, you only get 500 for that first month for that $15. And the reason is because the phone carriers, they charge CourtReserve, and therefore text alerts can get very expensive. If you want to use either text alerts or push notifications, I would highly, highly, highly recommend push notifications, because you could literally send a billion of those out and it would still only cost you $15 a month. So again, you get to have your logo, you get to push these for all kinds of things out in CourtReserve, which we'll show you in a few minutes, but push and text are definitely a great add-on in CourtReserve. Now, if you didn't know, we built our own point of sale and inventory management system. This is just a screenshot of mine that you'll see in a few minutes. You can provide discounting. You can allow members to charge to a house account. You can run a credit card. You can accept cash. But the point of sale at $25 a month is fantastic. Now, you may or may not know that when you turn on the point of sale, or if you actually turn on the invoicing and batch billing feature, it's kind of one of those great BOGO deals, buy one, get one. Because in the beginning, 7 years ago, or whenever we actually came out with both, we decided that these kind of go hand in hand. So if you turn on invoicing, batch billing, which is kind of the same thing, or point of sale, you're going to get both for $25 a month. Now, there's different ways that you can collect fees in CourtReserve. This is one of those great ways. So if you allow your members to charge things to their account and you want to collect your fees once a month, then you can literally go in, send your players an invoice. It's going to email it to them. It's going to alert on their CourtReserve app that they have an invoice due. And if your policy is that you send out the invoice and collect at the same time, you can do that. Some of our clubs send out an invoice on the 1st of the month, and then they automatically go back in and they collect on the 5th, or some of them send out and collect all in the same day. It just depends on what your policy is at your facility, and we have the ability to do that. I love this. Invoicing is great because if you work with coaches or schools or you do contract time, you can actually send out individual invoices as well. Our next add-on is liability waivers and membership agreements. So you can upload any waiver, any membership agreement, anything up into the general liability tab or that waiver tab in CourtReserve. And then you can tell the system how often you want your players, your guests, your non-members to sign off on these waivers and agreements. You get to set signing rules behind it. So you can actually, if I'm new to your club and I sign up online, then I can actually be mandated to sign the waiver before I can book a court, sign up for a class. You can push this to a queue at your front desk, which means that I'm a new player. I walk up to your front desk and you can actually have a signing tablet or something off to the side and push that, and I can use my finger and e-sign, and it collects date and timestamp, all kept into CourtReserve. And then you can see this image here. At any time, you can pull up who signed it, when they signed it, the version of your agreement. You can have people sign it every year, every time they come to your facility. I mean, there's lots of different ways. And even now, CourtReserve has the ability for you to have event-specific waivers. So the case behind that would be, let's say you have summer camps and you have a lot of people that are not, members of your organization, and you want moms and dads to sign off on the swim summer camp or the pickleball summer camp, then you can attach a specific waiver to an event as well. Stringing. If you are a tennis facility, you have got to take a look at the stringing module. So one of our partners up in Canada, their stringing department, which is huge, helped us put together all the requirements behind the stringing module. It is an incredible add-on in CourtReserve. And basically, you're going to be able to set up all your strings. You're going to be able to set up all your stringers. You're going to be able to open jobs up. So if a player brings a racket into your or your pro shop, they're going to drop it off. Then everything's logged into CourtReserve. You're going to be able to have open jobs, and then your stringers, when they actually come into work, they're going to be able to accept a job, complete the job. The job's going to be able to charge that string and the stringing to that account of the player. It's going to notify the player when it's done, and it keeps all of this historical data into CourtReserve. For $25 a month, and everything fits into CourtReserve, it is incredible. One of our trainers, Josh Willie, he made some great videos on stringing. It really takes you step by step, and stringing is one of those favorites if you're a tennis facility in CourtReserve. Okay, access control looks like my screenshot off here. Access control, we use a company called Remote Lock. Basically, you would go through Remote Lock, work out what kind of lock you need for your gate or your door, and then you would purchase your lock from Remote Lock, and you can install it yourself. You can hire your own installer. You can hire them to install it. And this way we have a lot of 24-hour facilities. We have a lot of homeowners associations that have courts that they don't want the neighboring kids or the neighboring people just to be able to lock on. So when a player makes a reservation for your court or your facility in CourtReserve, they get a unique 4-digit PIN. That PIN has rules around it. So many minutes before your reservation starts, you can actually access that locked gate or that locked door. And then Remote Lock actually has its own dashboard. So then your staff, you can actually log in and see, okay, what time did Bob actually put his 4-digit PIN code into the system? So it is a great way to be staffless, and you can definitely get some more information from our team as well. Okay, I'm sure you all know by now, but Leagues is one of our favorite new add-ons at CourtReserve. You know, in the pickleball world, in the tennis world, leagues allow players to be competitive and to have fun. And leagues is a great way to get people playing. It can be fun or social or competitive. You can have different sessions, and it just allows the players this flex league, the ability to opt in and opt out. So if it's a 10-week league session, your players, they don't want to commit to all 10 weeks, then they have each week the opportunity to opt in. Or we have some people that run shorter 5 and 6 weeks, and every week they go in and they opt their players in. So Leagues is a great add-on in CourtReserve, and we'll look more about that in a few minutes. We did an integration recently with Duper. So now if you are a pickleball facility and you want to be integrated with the Duper pickleball rating, then you can go in and put that add-on. It means that you still have to have an account with Duper, or you have to go and set an account up with Duper. And then this allows your players to use their rating in order to do rating-based events. And in tennis and pickleball, there's nothing better than a competitive match with players of like skill. So Duper provides that in CourtReserve, and it is a great add-on. All right, so player matchmaking and organized play. So these are really great ways to add social or competitive or skill-based play at your organization. Player matchmaking is great because let's say I wanted to play ladies doubles. So myself and my partner Molly, we're 3-5s, and we go ahead and we book a court, and it's an open match. That means that in the CourtReserve world, on your other player's side, if they fit the ratings by which we are looking for, they can basically accept the open match, and now we can have a great match. You can hide some things. So if there are some people that maybe, you as a player don't necessarily like to play with, some people are like that, then you can actually, have a hidden match. So if you have a group of friends that you always want to alert that, hey, you're going to have an open match, you can create almost a secret match with a PIN code, give that PIN code to your friends, and then they can enter that PIN code and join your match for Player Matchmaker. Organized play is fantastic. It organizes your groups. It's basically a fancy way to run a round robin or start off a great night of tennis or pickleball. Let's say you have 20 players. They sign up. At the click of a button, you can go in and it assigns by rating players to a court based on skill level. And then boom, you're off and running. So now you can run organized play events. It starts with the players by rating on the court. And then as soon as you click the button that says go, then it actually tells them what court to, report to. And then you can play, if you win, you move up. If you lose, you go down. So organized play is fantastic. I know that in the future, and I'm not like Tim, I'm not going to give you a date, but in the future, we're going to put some rounds in organized play. So that's going to allow you to do a whole lot with the organized play feature. Now, attendance tracking and player self-check-in are really just like basic, got to do this at your facility. If you want really good data, you should definitely use attendance tracking player self check-in. A couple reasons. Player self check-in is easy. All your players can get the barcode. You can see up here in the top right-hand corner. When they get to your facility, you have a little USB like scanner set up. They easily scan in, and then attendance tracking scans every single person there, whether they have a reservation or not. So this is great because you can take attendance. It tells them what where to report. You can see here player number. They can actually use their player number or their member number to check in if they forgot their phone. And we have new in this article. If you want to do this for your youth or your juniors who maybe don't have a cell phone, we have new instructions in the knowledge base that tell you how to make bag tags. Even the tag itself, where you can order the little plastic thing to do the bag tag. So again, player self check-in, attendance tracker, I think all facilities really benefit from putting this into play. And I'm going to show you more about that in just a minute. Now, everybody wants to know when Wilma comes to the club. So profile pictures are probably one of the top features that was requested this year in 2023. I was really excited to get those out. It really allows you to have a concierge feeling at your facility. That way, when you can see up here at the top, Wilma's checked in, Dexter's checked in, Sydney's checked in. It really does allow your front desk staff to get to know the folks coming through your front desk. And anytime somebody calls you by name, that really says a lot. It makes you feel like you're, wanted and you belong there. And it's just another touch point with your customers. So why not use profile pictures? Now, we didn't develop it for that. We actually developed it to make sure that Wilma is who Wilma says she is. We had some clubs that had some instances where people were basically trying to go in and they weren't really the person there. So profile pictures really does allow you to make sure the player checking in and at your facility is exactly who they say they are. Court waitlisting. This was released earlier this year, and this is fantastic. If your courts are busy, court waitlist is great for your players because they can go on, and I'm going to show you in the product in just a minute. Court waitlist allows them to put their name on the board and basically say, hey, if the court becomes available, please alert me. Please let me know because I want to come and play. So court waitlisting is one of those great features in CourtReserve that you may not even know that we had until now. Oh, this was one of my favorites when we came out with, still is, packages and punch cards. I love packages and punch cards for a few reasons. Number one, it allows you to drive revenue at your facility. Now, you may say, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Sure, it does. You can sell packages of lessons, packages of court time, packages around robins, packages of open plays. You get to define what the package looks like. You get to define how much it is. Maybe you want to have buy 10 lessons, pay for 9. Maybe you want to have a holiday special and drive some end of the year revenue. Packages and punch cards allows you to do that because once you sell that package to your player, then when your player goes in and actually says, oh, I want to book a lesson or I want to book a round robin, they're not having to pay for it because they've already paid for the package and they just punch their card and they get that option in CourtReserve. So the other great thing about packages that I love for facilities is because think about it like this. Every single time you charge your member with their debit or their credit card, you are paying a transaction fee and a percentage fee. Now, the going rate, let's just say you use Stripe. Let's say you're going to pay 3.1% plus 30-cent transaction, okay? If you sell a package to a player, you're really saving because you're only paying that transaction fee one time. So instead of paying 3.1% plus 30 cents 10 times, you're paying 3.1%, but you're only paying that 30-cent transaction one time. So overall, if you think about it, this can really save you on some of those transaction fees. And we're all about saving fees, right? I'm all about that too. Now, membership waitlist, this was created because a lot of our Northern and Canadian clients, they're seasonal and they only have so much room indoors for so many members. So we created membership waitlist. It allows you to put members on a waitlist in CourtReserve. When you have slots available for new members at your club, you can send them offers. You can put dates and timeframes on those offers. So maybe in the next week, your offer to join their club exists for the next season. And it is a great way just to keep up with who's on your membership wait list. Because I know a lot of clubs that needed this, they were keeping up with members who wanted to join their facility on an Excel spreadsheet. So this keeps everything in CourtReserve. You can see here who's been assigned a new membership, who's been offered, who's waiting. And it is just a great way to keep up with things, data and automation. It's fantastic. Now, Book a Pro is not an add-on that you would see under add-ons, but I did want to mention it today because a lot of times people say, oh, I can't use Book a Pro because I would never be able to control my instructor's schedule. Well, your instructors have full capability to go in and put what they want as their schedule in Book a Pro. This also doesn't mean they can't deny the request. So Book a Pro works two different ways. You can set up your instructor availability, and you can use the approval process by which that means that if I want to book a lesson with Coach Tim, Coach Tim gets an email or sees the little red dot show up on the to-do list, and he can actually go in and either approve or deny my lesson request at the time and date. Now, this is great. It's communication. Now, of course, the second way Book a Pro exists is that I can see, Coach Tim's schedule. I can book a 10 o'clock, I can pay the $95 fee, and then, he's going to get notified that I've just booked and paid for a lesson. So really, you don't have to take it that far. You can just use the lesson request. And so it really does, eliminate all those phone calls, all those text messages, all those emails. You can set up certain custom levels. So certain memberships can only book certain pros. So don't forget that Book a Pro is a great add-on in the system, and we don't charge you for it. So definitely want to mention that. Now, the last add-on I'm going to mention before we actually go into the product, and I want to show you a couple things about some of these add-ons, prime times. Prime times are fantastic if you have busy courts. And I always use the example, Bob shows up and he reserves the shady court every single morning. Well, if you have a lot of great players and a limited court space, then you can assign courts prime times, and you can do it at the court level. So maybe only 2 or 3 of your courts need prime times. We don't charge you for prime times, and so definitely you should check this out. And the reason that I pointed out Friday here on the screen, you can have a prime time for a holiday. That's Friday, next Friday after Thanksgiving. I don't like to shop. I'd rather go play. So why not assign some prime times on really busy days of the week or holidays that would allow all of your players equal and fair playing time. All right. So I'm going to stop the share, and I'm actually going to pop over to the product because when you're talking about add-ons, sometimes it just depends on, you just kind of know some of the ins and outs. And so today, I just, again, wanted to kind of walk you through some of those ins and outs, what it looks like, why you should remember certain things. And so the first thing I'm going to talk to you about today, don't forget up here in the top right-hand corner, beside your name when you are logged in, is the knowledge base. That knowledge base is full of articles and videos that if you want to set up certain add-ons today, I would highly recommend you start there. Get as far as you can. And then the little green live chat button that lives right here beside our Facebook community group, join that if you're not a member. I would definitely reach out to those folks as well. Okay, let's start with where add-ons live. You're going to go in and go to settings, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom in the lilac row. No, it's not purple, it's lilac. So you want to click the first button called Manage Add-ons. And you can see here that some of our add-ons do come with an additional fee, and some come with no additional fee, okay? So what you want to do is you want to go in and you want to click the box that associates with the one that you want to look at, and you want to click Setup. Now, when you go to Setup, it actually takes you directly to that page. So while we're in Point of Sale, let's just go ahead and take a look here. Now, Point of Sale, just some tips and tricks from somebody who's helped other people set up point of sales for a long time. I would highly recommend that you start with item categories, because your item categories, your list is going to come under item categories. So set this up and be very specific. Then you're going to move towards setting up your items within your categories. And again, this is not a step-by-step tutorial today on every single add-on, but we're just talking about some tips and tricks here. Now, taxes, if you, I'm assuming in your state, your government charges taxes as well, go ahead and set up your taxes. That way you can go ahead and incorporate that when you're setting up your item list. And I would also, please, if you run payments through CourtReserve, if you take fees through CourtReserve, the number one thing, and this is not an add-on, this is a tip and trick of the day, please go out and set up revenue categories. Revenue categories will allow you to go in and create buckets of where your revenue is coming from. It makes your reporting so much better. If you don't know where this lives, then let me show you real quick. Go to settings and scroll all the way down to the gold buttons, because that's where the money lives, and revenue categories lives here. Again, if you're going to take payments or fees through CourtReserve, I highly, highly, highly recommend setting up revenue categories. Okay. So back to point of sale. So now that we've gotten way off task here, there's two different areas of point of sale. You can see here on the left-hand side, there's a point of sale button. This is actually the one that you need to use when you're setting point of sale up or when you're editing things. If you actually want to launch point of sale from your front desk, so if you're working a front desk and people are checking in and here's your attendance tracker at the top here, you can actually launch your point of sale with this button up here in the top right-hand corner, and it's going to launch it right on your desktop. You don't need an additional computer or additional laptop to run point of sale. You certainly can, but here is the launch of the point of sale. Now, once you get in here, again, point of sale, if you have more things on your page, you can scroll through, you can add pictures, or you can just have boxes with names in it. Again, completely up to you. You can use a scan gun to actually, use a scan gun to basically put that fruit drink right here in the cart. You can add to, you can provide discounting. You can have buttons created for percentages off and override prices, etc. Once you go to checkout, you can actually search. Let's just search Tim. We'll just put it on his account here at this club. Oh, Tim has a balance. He should pay his member balance. So you can charge this to an account, or you can go ahead and use, one of our payment processors, whoever you're working with, to charge a credit card, a debit card. You can choose to take cash, check, etc. Now, these payment methods here are specific to the point of sale. You can have different payment methods than you do in the regular CourtReserve platform. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's go back over here and go back down to point of sale for setup. So if you actually come up here and you go down to the settings button, then you can come in and you can choose to only allow, maybe in your pro shop, you only want charge to account, or maybe you don't want anybody to charge to a house account. So you can choose to do that here. You can also do not allow suspended or inactive members to charge point of sale items. That's another new button that we just added. And then you can create those discount buttons here as well. Now, all of your point of sale, you can run reports, item reports, inventory valuation. You can adjust stock. You can reorder it. There's a lot of great things in the point of sale. So it's a great add-on in CourtReserve. Again, point of sale is $25. If you add that, you get the batch billing along with it. So while we're talking about that, let's just go down and take a look at batch billing. So batch billing is a way to collect your money, your revenue to your club. It's under transactions. And then once you turn on, of course, let's go back to the beginning. I'm getting ahead of myself here because I get excited. We're going to go to add-ons, and we're going to go to batch billing, and we're going to go to setup. Now you get to set up, your information here, any memos that you would like to go out. If you are coming from an existing system and you want to start with a new or a next invoice number, you can certainly do that. Again, you can choose how many days in advance or days out your invoices are due. And then there's some other general settings here as well. And then you can add a different logo to your batch billing invoice if you would like. So now once you have all of this set up and you're ready to send out your first batch, then you can come in under transactions, go to batch billing. And then you can see here, now this is my test account, so that's why we have a lot of pending payment collection. But you can come in, you can click here on the left and see details about the batches I've sent out. You get to come in and see the individual invoices. Let's take a look at this one right here. It's got a couple more. So if you want to see voided invoices, or if you need to regenerate an invoice, and if you want to notify your members, hey, don't forget, we're sending out invoices today for our summer initiation club fees. You can certainly do that here. If you want to take a look at an invoice that maybe was voided, or what your player would see, then you can click on that as well. So batch billing and invoicing is great. You can also go to an individual member. So we'll just go to Wilma and we'll just go out to billing. And then you can come in here and you can actually generate an invoice. See this green button right here, specifically for Wilma, for one player. So batch billing can be all of your players at your organization, a certain individual, and there's a lot of different use cases behind that as well. Okay, let's go back and talk about a little bit about push and text. So if we go back to our add-ons, I actually want to come down here. Now you can see push notification lives here. Text alerts lives here. It's $15. So it's $15. It's like a BOGO again, right? But remember, if you use text alerts, you can only send that first 500. And then after that, we're going to have to charge you for an additional 500. It's $5 for an additional bulk of 500. So you'll get to come in, make sure you set your country code up. You can set up a short name because when you're sending out text notifications, you only get a max 160 characters, and that's going to be really important. So I would make your short name short for sure. Then you get to come in and you get to say, okay, my system, what do I want to go out automated, right? So these are going to be all those automated text, all those automated push. And if you know anything about the emails in CourtReserve, this is where all of that lives as well. So you could actually go to audits, which we're here on the left-hand side of the screen, and you could go down to notifications and see this as well. So email, text, and push. And you get to come in and say, you know, I don't really want every single time a player makes a reservation for a confirmation text to go out, because that's going to eat your text up pretty quickly. But maybe on cancellations for text, maybe on updates or things you had to change, maybe down here under clinic information or event information. Again, I would save text messages for those really important oopsie daisies or cancellations. Now, again, when you're doing push, same thing. So if we're going to click on the push notifications tab here, remember in our slide, we were able to set up a unique logo. Well, this logo can actually be different than your normal club logo, or it can be the same. So you can actually upload a logo here for push notification. So if we actually go back to settings and we scroll all the way back down and go to add-ons, and I believe we did, yep, we're coming right back here. So again, it's pretty simple to set up. And what I always encourage folks to do is that if you want to test, if you want to test sending an invoice, if you want to test sending a push notification, sending a text message, make Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck a member in your system, or send it to yourself. That way you can see exactly what they see for certain. Okay, settings. Let's go to the next one. Settings, manage add-ons. Let's go to waivers. So advanced liability forms and membership agreements with electronic signature capture. Let's go to setup. So once we click on setup, you'll see 4 tabs here. Okay. And if you want to go back to this, then you can just basically, once you click that you want to add waivers, you can go to settings, and waivers lives right here under reservation settings. So we're in here now, and we were on that additional settings button. So again, a lot of great information that you need to fill out. You need to actually, upload those membership agreements or those waivers. Now, I will go ahead and let you know, occasionally, people will say, hey, I need the documentation. I need the membership agreement. CourtReserve does not have any kind of legal documentation for you. You need to have your own documentation from your own state in order to upload. And so, there's an organization called Rocket Lawyer. that you can create documents like this at the state level. I've used that before years ago. It seemed to work well. So Rocket Lawyer's one, or you can hire yourself a lawyer and make sure your agreements are up to speed. So once you get these uploaded, then you're going to want to create signing rules like we mentioned earlier. Those signing rules, do you want them to sign it every year? You know, how often do you want them to sign it? And then you'll want to make sure that this is all set up. Again, reach out to us in live chat. Once you go through this process and you've gotten as far as you can, then definitely reach out to us and we can help you with that as well. Okay, let's talk about stringing. So we mentioned stringing earlier. We're going to come back down here, and stringing lives right here. We're going to go to setup. Now, what I will say about stringing is that it takes a few minutes to go through. So my number one advice would be go up here in the knowledge base, pull up the stringing article, and watch Josh's fantastic stringing video while you're setting this up, because you want to make sure that everything is lining up the way you want it to, because you may string so many different rackets and you want to make sure to have the stringing in line and things of that nature. Once you have all this set up, it's going to flow, because then you can go in and you can create your jobs, you can accept jobs, you can complete jobs. But this stringing setup, definitely I'd watch Josh's video. That would be my tip of the day if you're going to set up stringing. Then you can create different stringers at your organization, your inventory, etc. That's definitely my tip. Okay. If you want to set up access control, I actually don't even think it lives down here. What you actually need to do is, if you want to set up Wi-Fi access control, you need to reach out to our live chat support team for a couple reasons. Number one, we need to make sure to give you the contact person of who to reach out to at Remote Lock, so they can give you a quote, talk to you about the type of lock you need. You also need to sign some waivers and disclosures for us and for them as well. And so that's why once you get all of that done, once you've talked to them, once you sign the waiver, then we actually go in and turn that on for you. And then it would actually populate, and then you can go in and set up Remote Lock access once you have this turned on by our team. Now, again, this is my test account and it's not set up. But once you actually purchase your lock and you have it in hand, then you would be able to come in here, take the little security code off that lock and set that up within your platform. Okay, leagues. Now, we mentioned leagues earlier. If we come back down to add-ons and we come back down here to leagues and we go to setup. Again, right now, the only type of league that we have in CourtReserve is flex leagues. They are working right now on new iterations of leagues, and no dates coming from me. I'm not getting myself in trouble. But you can come in, you can set up different types of leagues. You can set up the sessions. You're going to be able to go in and set up how long you want these leagues. You're going to be able to come in and schedule out your game days. Okay. You can see here the upcoming days, who's played. You can go in and see the standings. Your players can then join your league, pay for your league, and then you can go out, see the standings, and you can even have players on a wait list as well. So leagues is fantastic. Josh has made another great video. He's like the video master now at CourtReserve. He's taken my space, which I love. And so leagues is a great product. Again, we have a great knowledge base and video up in the knowledge base for articles as well. All right, the duper integration, again, come down, go to manage add-ons, and then we're going to come down here and see the duper integration. Now, again, you still have to have a duper club ID from duper. So since mine is already set up, then yours would actually say, hey, what is your duper club ID? And if you don't have one, I believe it actually sends you, hey, reach out to duper and get your club set up, which is easy, very easy to do. If not, reach out to our live chat support team and we can get you in contact with duper. And then once your players are in the system, then you'll see that, again, they're gonna up their rating's gonna change and it's gonna flow through, and it's awesome. And if you're a pickleball club, it's a great add-on in CourtReserve. Organized play and player matchmaker. If we go back to settings and scroll back down and go to manage add-ons, you'll see that one of these, so player matchmaker is one of our no charge setups here. And then organized play, there is a charge. It is still in beta because we are still working on this. And again, I told you we're going to make some additional improvements to this, add rounds to it eventually. And so when you're going in and setting up organized play, it is fantastic. But you're going to be able to come in and set up how you want the play. Is it random? Is it by sign up order? You're going to be able to choose, is this for tennis? Is this for pickleball? Is this for, maybe you have bocce organized play? I don't know, but you can definitely come in and use your ratings that you've already got set up. And again, the article's great, and player matchmaker is the same thing. Now, attendance tracking is fantastic. And I believe it still lives down here in add-ons, because attendance tracking at one point, that's one of the ones that we actually decided, hey, we think attendance tracker is something that all facilities need to use. And so once you come in and set up attendance tracker, then you can actually see Wilma, Dexter, Sydney, and Dakota. These are the last 4 people that have checked in at my facility. And it's easy to do that through the kiosk, or if you see Wilma and you see her coming in, you can actually just log into Wilma's account and click on the blue attendance button here and go ahead and check that Wilma has walked through your front door. So again, another great feature in CourtReserve that we don't charge you for, and I highly recommend that you turn it on, because then your data, your reporting, everything is just going to be on another level. All right, so let's keep going. We've got settings, and we're going to go back down to add-ons. Hey, if you don't learn anything else today, you're going to know that the add-ons button is at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so down here under, again, profile pictures, once you turn it on, then you can easily go into a member, and then, you know what? I'm going to have to find this because now I forgot. Oh, here it is. If Wilma's picture was not here, you could actually change Wilma's picture. If you have a front desk kiosk or a front desk laptop and you have a camera on your laptop, or you could just buy one and hook it up, then you can take Wilma's picture right there and upload it to the screen. Now, probably a question will come through, can members upload their own photos? No, not at this time, but it is something I believe that they're going to allow you to choose, so that, but again, the reason we built profile pictures is so that you could validate that who's coming into your facilities, who they really are. So you want to make sure that, you know, Wilma is who Wilma says she is. Okay, let's keep going. We're going back to settings. You guys are going to dream tonight of where all these settings buttons are. We're going to go to settings, and now we're going to go over to court wait lists. So we're going to go back on down, court wait lists. We're going to go to setup. Court wait list is great, especially for those really busy courts. Now, if you're a facility and you have, you know, 100 tennis courts and 100 pickleball courts, you may not need this. But again, you get to come in, you get to see, you know, who's on the wait list from an admin standpoint. You can allow your players to basically say, hey, I want any kind of court, or maybe just, you know, make it flexible for me. You can prevent, you know, people jumping on a wait list so many hours out. You can actually say at the court level, like only certain courts need to be waitlisted as well. So from like a player standpoint, if I go over and I'm going to book a tennis court, let me just go out. Oh, how about Friday for Thanksgiving? Look, if I want to join the wait list here for any of these courts as a player, I can easily click join wait list, who it's for. I'm going to play singles, and then I either want a court at a specific time, or I can be flexible, you know, if a court becomes available. So again, just great functionality, and it makes for a great member experience. And that's what we all care about, is making sure the players and members are having a great experience. Okay. Oh, packages. I love packages. Let's go back over to packages. Settings. We could probably all say this together. Add-ons. And let's go to packages. Now, I will tell you, the number one thing you want to make sure when you're setting up packages is that you have the exact amount of time. So when I was setting up packages months ago, I actually set up the fact that you could have 45-minute lessons, okay? But my reservation or my lesson types were actually hours. But what I did was I inadvertently set up the wrong lesson duration. And so when I was going to actually test that packages was working, I could never sell myself or punch my card because I had already sold myself a package. But when I was testing it, I had put the wrong duration of time. So you need to make sure that whatever your lesson times are, that the duration matches, right? So if you're going to do 60-minute lessons, make sure you have 60-minute lesson types. That's all I'm going to say. So again, this is great because you actually get to come in. You can create as many packages as you need. You can do a price, so you can figure out if, hey, maybe it's buy 10 lessons, get 2 free. You can go ahead and put your price in. You can actually go ahead and allow your players to use their punches, before they're even paying. So maybe you send invoices once a month, but you're selling her account a package. Well, you can let her go ahead and start using her punches before she's actually paid for that as well. Again, packages can expire. And again, you can set this up however you'd like. Packs of lessons, packs of event time, or a little bit of everything. So again, I love packages for the player side. Now, one of the questions you'll probably ask is, can players buy their own packages? Not yet. Currently in CourtReserve, admins have to sell a package to a player. And so if we go to Wilma, in billing, and packages, then you can see here that you can blue over here in the far right-hand corner, sell a package. You get to choose the package, what it is. Are you selling it at the individual, or can the entire family use it, and what that looks like as far as that goes. So, and from a player standpoint, it's pretty cool actually. So if I actually go over to my account as a player and I come up to billing, then I can see my packages. So from a player standpoint, this is great because I've paid, I haven't used any of my punches, and I still have one package I need to pay for here. So really good insight. You can see your used and expired packages as well from a player standpoint, and it really works out well. So the last couple that we haven't really kind of gone through, again, they're located in the exact same spot we've been 10 times today. And oh, too many buttons. So we're going to go back to settings. We're going to scroll down, add-ons. Again, we got a couple more down here. File repository, if you don't know what that is, it's a way for you to store documentation within CourtReserve. Pretty self-explanatory. You can read the article about that one. And then the other one was prime times. Prime times actually used to live here, but if you wanted to set up prime times, you would just go out to settings and then go to prime times, and then you can set these up. Like I mentioned earlier, you can actually do it for individual dates, and it can be at the court level as well. All right, so I see that we only have 13 minutes left, and we have a slew of questions. So I'm going to kind of go through these questions. Will there be a discount code capability? So I'm assuming you're talking about in the point of sale. If you are, then we already have that, and that was pretty early on, so hopefully I showed you that. If you're talking about other discount codes, then let me know for sure. Next question, any future plans on providing point of sale access to players in order to be able to purchase items such as clothing? So we have that idea on the idea board as far as allowing point of sale for players. I don't know, it's on the idea board, Doug, for sure. Also, we've had the idea of, hey, an online point of sale, so players could order things online. It's a great idea, and we definitely are keeping all those in mind. Do we have an open API? We do have an API. It's not currently open, but we sometimes do one-off things, Bill. So you can reach out to our live chat support team and talk to us about what you're looking for. What criteria do you use to rank in leagues? Well, that's currently up to you. You can go in and set your league up at, as far as like your own ratings. So if you're going to do the 3.5, and you're going to start off by ranking them manually, or if you're going to let the system like kind of not rank them manually, but kind of like start out wherever. And then, the best will bubble to the top and the others will move to the bottom. So it's really up to you how you want to initially rank when you get started with leagues. We have a statement here. We have difficulty getting people to take their profile pictures. Well, a couple of things that you might want to consider. is the ability, profile pictures is something that, you can mandate at a facility. So maybe, when they come in, they get a free bottle of water or a perk, like maybe, you put them in a drawing to get free court time or maybe a free lesson with your top pro in order to, get more people to come in and take their profile pictures. I think you just got to be creative and, cause them to want to come in and have a conversation with your front desk for sure. Next statement, for leagues, can there be an option to automatically opt everyone in each week rather than automatically opt everyone out? So I do believe they're currently still working on that. That is an idea that they are already working on. So stay tuned for that one. Packages. Can packages only be sold in person or over the phone? Is there an option to sell packages online or by the app? So the admins have to sell the package. So if you know that Wilma wants to buy that package, you can easily come in and sell that to her while she's standing there on the phone. She could send you an email. Currently, you cannot sell a package by the app. But and it cannot be bought by the player at this point. Next question, do they have to opt in for a mass text, or if we have their phone number, does that suffice? So for text and push, they do have to opt in to actually get text messages and push notifications. So once they do that, then you would have the ability to go out and send them text and push. What does active, let's see, what does active versus subscribe mean in notifications? So active means that so let's just go back over there and take a look at that. So if we go to settings and we scroll all the way down, that's a great question, actually. So active, if you see here, means that if you click active for all of this, anytime, let's say, a reservation confirmation by player is done in the system, then if this is checked as active, it is going to go out. If they are subscribed, then the member will have the option to unsubscribe themselves, okay? Because in text and push, there's some legality, and I can't remember which is which, but you have to be careful because they have the option always to unsubscribe and to opt out of text messages and push notifications. But active means you want this to happen, and then subscribe means you're going to go ahead and actually, hey, we want to send you this information by text or push. We want you to do this, but they can opt themselves out of that. I hope that cleared that up. I'm not sure it did or not. Okay, how do we set up the portal view like you had it? Well, let's see. I wonder if you're talking about this. Maybe you can give us a couple more. I'm not sure, so just let me know about that. Can you waitlist a resource like a ball machine? Oh, Karen, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but my team has taken notes. So Karen, I don't know that right now you can waitlist a resource like a ball machine, but we'll get back to you on that for sure. Let's see, the next question. I'm sure you have it under the knowledge base, but under what keywords would I search? Oh, sorry, I'm not sure of what your question is. So I would... when you're searching in the knowledge base, I would just use the basic term. Like if you're looking for, instructor schedulers, just click instructor because it's going to bring up all of the articles for instructors for sure. It was about the view of the portal. So this is the member portal. We actually call this the website settings. So if you actually go over to the admin panel, and you come down to settings, when we're talking about the member portal, you're going to come down here to portal settings because think of portal as your members or your player view. So you're always going to want to come here. So I would probably, when you're in the knowledge base, you could look up page builder, home pages, or website portal, and that would help you with some of those knowledge base articles. My team can take a note and maybe they can send you some information about that as well. It's CD Woods, right? Okay, so we'll look you up and we'll try and get you some of the videos and some of the articles on how to set up your website portal. All right, let's see. Jenny asked, can you show how to run an accounts rec for reach out to the live chat team since we're so short in time today, and they can help get you a report. And then for the discount code, I'm curious if we can give out a code for a free open play, for example. So you can actually go into settings, and if I remember exactly, you can actually come out to booking settings, and you can go over here to discounts, I believe it is. And you can actually automatically give so many free reservations and stuff, you know, or free classes and things like that for each of your memberships. And you can do that automatically in the system. So right now, that's the best way for you to, now this is a one, you know, this is all. So this would be all of my tennis family members are going to get one free clinic per month or one reservation per month. So if you wanted to do that on an individual basis, I don't think we can do that right now, but you could certainly do it here under the discount button. Can you give a fee, guest fee? Can you, well, of course you could charge guest fees in CourtReserve. And you can charge for guest fees on the player side as well. So Karen, if you have that specific question, oh, a free guest fee. So, you know, you could definitely go in and you could manually, you know, take off that guest fee for certain. And then if you're doing it for all guests, you could certainly not charge the guest fee. I guess we'd have to get a little more information from you. So if you want to reach out to live chat, Karen, I'm sure that they would be glad to help you today for sure. All right, I see. Let's see. Any more questions before we go? Well, I hope this was helpful today. I hope that you learned a couple tips and tricks. If nothing else, you learned where all the add-ons live at the very bottom of the screen. Know that we are excited about continuing to make the product better for you guys in CourtReserve, and I really appreciate you coming today. Reach out to live chat support if you have additional questions, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.